change these earrings. I think I'm actually gonna keep the smaller ones on. Come on in, come on in. I need to send this live out because we're having some nervous system talk today. Come on in, come on in. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. I'm gonna send this out real quick. All right. Let's see. Happy Feminine Friday. Happy Feminine Friday. Come on in, come on in, come on in. All right. For those who do not know who I am, my name is L. Antoinette, and I am a fit. Can I talk today? Hold on. Is my lipstick right? Am I here? Okay, so for those who don't know who I am, my name is L. Antoinette. I'm a psychological identity strategist. And what I do specifically is I support my amazing clients who are high functioning women. I support these amazing women in high lovey. I support these amazing women in leading, loving, and earning from emotional power instead of survival mode. A lot of women who are in survival mode are in survival mode because they have been wearing a mask to create their success, whether that's acting like a man, whether that is being all over the place trying to hustle, whether that is, altering yourself to get or to achieve. So all of those things kind of fall into that, and women realize that they burn out. Like, they cannot sustain wearing a mask. That is not authentic. That's not them. That's just not real. And they end up having severe burnout. So when they come to me as a psychological identity strategist, I basically teach these high capacity women how to rebuild their internal architecture, of who they are emotionally, spiritually, mentally, so that they can live, lead, and earn from the true identity that's them instead of the one that they created to survive. Because a lot of women have created identities to survive, and that is your nervous system's natural go-to, which is why you keep coming into the space of attracting certain things. So I'm here to talk to you specifically today for you to grasp and to fully understand that your nervous system is not choosing love, success, or even stability. It's choosing what's familiar. And a lot of people will talk to you about nervous system work, but they won't really break it down and tell you all of this. And so I'm going to let you know today. Okay. Hi, lovies. Thank you so much for the likes. I greatly appreciate them. I appreciate you. So we're going to talk about it today. We're going to dive really deep into this because there's a lot of talk about nervous system, but there's not a lot of clarity around it. A lot of my work consists of reprogramming your mind and rewiring your nervous system so that you can receive. A lot of women claim that they want safety, they want security, but they tend to struggle in those areas because your nervous system is not familiar with that. You didn't grow up in a secure home. You didn't grow up being secured. So whatever mechanisms were created within yourself to protect yourself are the same ones you go to when you have an issue in your relationship, when you have an issue in general. And so if you have not reprogrammed your mind, if you have not rewired yourself to receive, you're going to struggle in the area of capacity and the area of receiving, which means that 8 times out of 10, you're probably an overgiver, right? Or you're a woman who gives without having a threshold. And every woman should have a threshold as a giver. I'm sorry. And which is why women tend to be in spaces where people use them up. So if you want to come out of that, stick around because we're going to dive into that today, okay? We're going to talk specifically about how your nervous system chooses familiarity. But first I want to get into, before I even get into all of this, is it's going to be very important. And I'm going to say this because I just had a conversation with somebody about this outside of work, right? And women really have to work on their insecurities so that you don't become an insecure person. Okay? There is a difference between a person having insecurities, which we all have insecurities in some form or fashion because we don't do all things well, right? Thank you, my love, for these likes and these follows. But an insecure person is ruled by their insecurities, okay? The reason why, and I'm just going to tell you flat foot out, Okay? Y'all need to understand this. You cannot be friends with or be in real romantic relationship with someone who is an insecure person. Not a person with insecurities, but an insecure person, a person that is ruled by their insecurities. Let me tell you why. Let me also tell you, if you are the insecure person, you are not the person that needs to be trying to be in relationship with people. And I'm going to explain to you why right now. Your nervous system is not wired for safety. Your nervous system is not wired for security, okay? The nervous system of an insecure person does not have the capacity to receive, does not have the capacity in a space to actually understand and recognize safety, and because of that, sabotage is happening. So let's talk about the insecure person really quickly, okay? So insecure person is a person that is ruled by their insecurities, which means that they make decisions, they move from that space, they do all of that, right? Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes. The reason why you can't be with him, or the reason why you are not in a position to be with somebody else if you are this person, is because of this. Women will claim to want and to be attracted to men who provide, which are men who provide are secure in their provision. So women are attracted to stability. Women are attracted to security, which is why a lot of women will say, I want a man to have some resources and have some money. But here's the problem with that when you are an insecure woman who is ruled by her insecurities. You cannot sit comfortably in security and stability because your nervous system does not recognize it as being familiar. You didn't grow up in a stable or secure environment to where you saw relationships being played out in this way. And because of that, there is a shift, there is an issue, okay? So because you don't know what that looks like, you're unable to sit in that space. And because you're unable to sit in that space comfortably, you cannot even allow yourself to experience security on a high level, stability on a high level, without trying to sabotage it. See, this is for the ones who get in relationships with good men, but you don't like him because he's boring. He ain't even boring. There's just no drama. This is for the ones who will be in healthy relationship, and because there has been no drama and nothing has happened, you will stir up drama, you will stir up mess, okay? Because that's what's familiar to you, the drama, the mess, the stress, all of these things, because you are not comfortable with security. And when you're not comfortable with security, you can't sit in it, which is why a lot of you are not energetic matches for secure love, for stable relationships, because you are not comfortable sitting in that. You have to create some form of drama, whether it's within your own mind of overthinking or you allow it to play out externally in your relationships. But it's one or the other. You cannot be an insecure person that is ruled by their insecurities and be in a healthy relationship, and you cannot be with a person who is ruled by their insecurities, because they don't know how to sit in stability and security. I don't care how much they are attracted to it. And you need to grow up and understand that. Okay? So work on your insecurities if they are ruling you, and make serious and better decisions about being with people who are ruled by their insecurities, because the experience is going to collapse because there has to be sabotage. It's not familiar for this person to be in stability. It's like giving somebody $1 million who does not know how to manage it. Thank you, my love, for these likes and these gifts. If they don't know how to manage it, they're going to blow away and blow off the money. It's the exact same thing when it comes down to this. So this is why it's very important as a woman, before 2025 ends, that you are doing the work to recalibrate your nervous system. So again, we're talking about your nervous system isn't choosing love. It isn't choosing success. It isn't choosing stability. It's only going to choose what is familiar. And if you have not retrained your nervous system from childhood, that is why you keep repeating the exact same cycles. I do this work. For those who don't know me, again, my name is L. Antoinette. I'm a psychological identity strategist. And what I do specifically is I support my clients who are high-functioning women. I support them in learning how to lead, earn, and love from emotional power and not survival mode, which this decreases a lot of the trauma that they experience going forward. Women that come to work with me get 3 major results. Number 1, they make more money because they lose their attachments to money limitations. Okay. Number 2, they get healthier. I used to be 100 pounds heavier. The client that I have who's lost the most weight is about 80 pounds. Lowest is about 20. Okay. My clients tend to develop better relationships with the masculine, as well as being able to build healthy community with the feminine, okay? Because both are necessary. So those are the results that my clients tend to come and get from me. I work with your doctors, your attorneys, your nurses, your nurse practitioners, your business owners, your spiritual oracles. I've even worked with a nice bit of SMEX workers, okay? Women who are tired overall of performing to get paid. Because there is no difference between the SMEX worker and the woman who's working in corporate. They both are performing for pay if they're not living in the fullness of their truth, if they're not living in the fullness of authenticity. So that is a summary of basically the results and kind of the work I do. And we're going to be getting into, like I said, how your nervous system is not high loving, how your nervous system is not choosing love, is not choosing stability, is not choosing success, is only choosing what is familiar. So let's get into it. So I want to talk today specifically, or more so kind of like break down why or what most high functioning women always end up realizing, which is not necessarily that they are stuck, because they are unhealed, but they're stuck because their body has more authority over their lives than their own mind. Okay. Thank you, my love. So your nervous system specifically, not your standards, not your desires, none of that has been choosing your relationships, your money patterns, your emotional reactions, and your opportunities, like literally everything. And we're going to unpack that because it's literally chasing what is familiar. It only settles in what is familiar, even if it's dysfunction. So if you don't untrain your eye, if you don't untrain your mindset to deal with and to sit in dysfunction, you will continue to repeat the patterns that you so desperately claim that you want to be away from or that you want broken. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is not a self-help live, first and foremost. I don't do those. This is not a self-help live. This is not a live about motivation or discipline. This is literally about feminine physics, which is something that I teach, and psychobiology, okay? The science behind why high-functioning women literally plateau emotionally, romantically, and financially. Because these are the biggest, that's the top 3 things that take women down every time. Your emotions, your relationships with men, and money. And your relationship with food too. I'll add that as a bonus. Because I always tell women, the root of those things usually is like impulsivity, which is a whole nother issue. But let's go ahead and stick to it. So if you're feeling like you know better, but you just don't seem to do better, or you attract the same type of dynamics, or you keep almost rising to the level that you want to be at, or you emotionally collapse when it matters the most, today is going to be clarity for you. Okay. Today is going to support you. So let's go ahead and get into the first aspect of this, which is familiarity versus love. Because a lot of us don't really know what love is. You should not search for love. You should be walking love. And when you're walking love, people pour into you and it amplifies what you already have. But if there's nothing there, there's nothing to amplify, which is why a lot of you end up in a drought. Because you are depending on someone else to fuel you when you should already come filled up, and it should be additions. Like literally, you're supposed to have the ice cream in the cone and everything else outside of that is sprinkles. That's the way this dynamic is supposed to work. The self-love is already there. The ice cream cone is already filled. If nobody came and put sprinkles on it, the ice cream cone is still going to do what it needs to do. It still gets the job done. Sprinkles are just an additional. And that's how you have to look at the love, the support, and all of that from other people, because first it should be whole when it comes down to yourself. This is why I don't submit to the whole mindset of meeting someone and saying that this person completes you. Nobody completes you. You are a whole individual. You should be a whole individual. And when you are coming together with someone, it should be 2 whole individuals coming together. That doesn't mean they're not working on themselves. That means that these people are clear on who they are and what they want. And if those 2 things are not clear, then you should not be coming together. It's destruction waiting to happen, okay? So let's get into familiarity versus love. So a lot of us women think that, how can I describe it? We think we're choosing based on logic. Okay, he has money, he has this, he has that, he's that, right? We think that we're choosing on standards, based on standards. Oh, he follows this, he meets this, he meets that. But the reality is the nervous system only chooses what's familiar. The nervous system doesn't choose what's healthy. The nervous system doesn't choose what's aligned. The nervous system doesn't choose what's the next level. Why? This is why you need to understand that when it comes down to your nervous system, whatever was happening in your childhood home, whatever was happening, built the tone and set the tone for your relationships, starting with the relationship that you have with yourself. So, because the nervous system only chooses what is familiar, not what's healthy, not what's aligned, not what's next level, this is why chaos feels normal to a lot of people. And I said this the other day when I was talking on live. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all, and I say this a lot, especially with things that are coming on. Y'all need to really be watching things with two set of eyes. I ain't never lived in a time in society where so many people claim that their third eye is so open, they're so spiritually attuned, but you are so blind to the agenda that's being put before you. When you are watching television shows, when you are watching movies, when you are watching things that are being put before you, you should watch it in two ways. Get your little emotions out, watch it for the drama, if that's what you need to do. Cool, whatever, I get it. But the second time you watch it, you should watch everything twice. The second time you watch it, you need to be watching for the narrative that they're trying to sell you underneath. I'll give you a perfect example of this. If I said the name of a Love and Hip Hop star that's been on Love and Hip Hop for a long time, most people would recognize the name and be able to tell me the storyline behind the person, the individuals, and all these things. Literally be able to tell me all of that, right? But you can't tell me what the narrative is or was behind reality TV. If you didn't know, I'm going to tell you. While they were selling you storylines, they were telling you that public displays of dysfunction, it's permissible. It's okay for you to crash out and act a fool. It's okay for you to allow yourself to be disrespected and dishonored by men and to be fighting about them and behind them on television. These are the things they sold you. Public dysfunction so you would crash out publicly and they would study you. So when they started building computerized prisons and when things started to get tight and when things started to get more difficult, you wouldn't know how to emotionally regulate. So what you would do is crash out. And when you crash out, not only will you be a spiritual, mental, emotional slave, but they intend to make you a physical one. Because you got to know that they got to fill them places up because they got to recoup the money that went into building those things. They sold you public display of dysfunction for 15 years to train your mind so that you could act a fool. See, these are the things that you have to start paying attention to. When you are watching things, you need to get your, everybody like a little drama, a little entertainment. I'm not mad at it. But pay attention to the pimping they selling you underneath, at least. So you don't reprogram your mind and start being foolish. Because you have to understand that everything has an agenda. Everything. I just learned at my grown age about attachment style. Everything makes sense to me now. Oh, it's so much I can say about attachment styles. I'm going to stay there for the end. It's so much I can say about that. And I say that as a person who has gone from what they call an anxious attachment style to a very secure attachment style. So it's a lot I can tell you about attachment. But the key thing to releasing yourself from attachments is to understand the art and the science of detachment. Most people just pay attention to the art of it. They don't understand the science, which is why they can't implement it. And because they can't implement it, they can't detach from outcomes. So they're so committed to ideas almost to their detriment. And this is why a lot of people will even stay in relationships to their detriment. For that very reason right there, their attachments, right? So it's definitely interesting. But let me go ahead and finish this. So this is why chaos feels normal, because your nervous system chooses what's familiar. Chaos feels normal. Stability feels foreign. Emotional availability, or how can I say this? Emotional available people feel off to you. Opportunities that stretch you feel unsafe. Hi, Lovey. And you sabotage at the moment something starts to actually go right. You start a fight. You do this, you do that, because your nervous system needs some type of intense, unstable drama, because that's what you experienced in your household. See, these are the things that we have to start addressing instead of focusing on all the external things. All of your answers are within you. Women that come to work with me, and because they get the results, they make more money, they become extremely more magnetic, they have better relationships with the masculine, they get healthier. It's because we get to the root issue. And the root issue is disconnection from your core. Because if you are connected to your core, then you wouldn't violate yourself. You wouldn't violate yourself by allowing people to be in your space that don't belong there. You wouldn't violate yourself by staying in spaces that devalue you. You just would not do that. You would not give a person the pleasure of a public crash out, you know what I'm saying, or displaying dysfunction, because that's a transference of your power to them. Like, for what? It absolutely makes no sense. Your system, your nervous system, is always protecting the old you until you retrain it to protect the new you. But that's because you haven't stepped into the fullness of your identity. So your nervous system cannot protect the real you because you are still acting like the fake you. You're still being performative. You're still people pleasing. You're still doing all of these different things. Like, these are the things that you really have to think about. Your system is always protecting the old you. Even when the new you is starting to emerge, you have not rewired your nervous system. And that's very important. So if you want to see, and this is just a FYI for those who haven't taken it yet, if you want to see exactly what your system specifically, individually, has been choosing for you, then click the link in my bio and get access to the Feminine Architecture Diagnostic, okay? Because it's going to expose the architecture running your emotional patterns. It's going to tell you why you attract what you attract. It determines how you attract based on what you answer. And it's going to tell you how safe you are to yourself and how safe you are to other people. So it's a free tool. You can click the link in the bio to get access to it. At the end of it, it is going to offer you the product that's going to help you solve your problem. But let me tell you something before you hop in my bio clicking that link. Let me give you a warning. Because see, I'm good. I'm going to give you the warning up front. Let me give you a warning. If you are not prepared to be responsible for what you see, then don't do it. Because it's going to read you. Not only is it going to read you your rights, but it is also going to let you know your strengths. It is going to let you know your vulnerabilities. It is going to tell you the type of men that you attract. It's going to tell you all of your points. Eli said the diagnostic is on point for real, and it is. It's going to tell you everything about you. And guess what the biggest thing about this is? You can no longer claim to be a victim with any man when you get done taking that diagnostic. Because if you see that you're too impulsive, if it reveals to you that you're too impulsive and you're too this and you too that, and you don't do anything about it, there's a product that can help you at the bottom, and you don't choose to work on that issue, you can no longer blame a man for wasting your time, wasting your energy, using you, because you played yourself. Congratulations. Because here's the truth. Nobody can play you without your permission, participation, or the fact that you weren't paying attention. And when you get that feminine architecture diagnostic, it's going to make you aware of yourself. It's going to bring attentiveness to who you truly are and how you operate with men. And if you are not willing to accept that truth, then you will continue to get ate up by them. And that's just point blank, period. So before you hop over there and go get that, because I want you to get it, because I want you to really like treat yourself better. I want you to experience better. But don't go over there getting that if you really are not about what it's going to tell you, because it's going to tell you the truth about you. So don't lie. Answer from a place that what you do on a consistent basis. If you clingy on a consistent basis, say that. There is no judgment in the diagnostic. It is only going to reveal you to yourself. So if you don't like looking in the mirror, don't take the diagnostic. I don't need you to take it. Truthfully, I don't. But it's only for the women who really want to be aware, the women who really want to do the work for real. If you ain't about that, don't waste your time, okay? Exactly. I know it's only my fault. I put up with 18 years. I realize it's not even his fault. And I'm going to tell you something that's very mature. You can click the link in the bio. When you click the link in the bio and scroll down, it's going to say Feminine Architecture Design. That's what you're going to see on there. It's going to say $0. It costs $0. You're going to put your email in there. It's going to send you a link. You're going to check your spam folder if you don't see it in your inbox. And you're going to click the link, get the document, scroll all the way down, because it's telling you about it. Scroll all the way down. It's going to say, take the quiz here. You're going to take the quiz there, and it's going to give you your results. Okay? Now, so that's the first aspect of this. So now let me give you your 3 internal architecture systems if you are not aware of them. Because most women, and let me tell y'all something. If y'all hear anybody else saying these terms that I'm telling y'all, come back and tell me, because they lying, because they're mine. Nobody else has this formula. Nobody else has a quiz telling you about you. Nobody has none of that. As much femininity talk that's happening all over online, my love, nobody is making you face you like I make you face you when it comes down to this work. And these 3 patterns of architecture that I'm going to be talking about, you should not hear them anywhere else. You won't be able to find them anywhere else. There is no book you can read to get them. You can only get them from me. You can only get them from accessing their diagnostic or any of the courses that I tell you. So if you really want this work, this is where you're going to come. Okay. So let's get into these 3 architecture systems. First thing I need you to understand is your patterns are not your personality. Okay, just got the email. Awesome. Let me know, girl, if you take the quiz while we talking, girl, and you start reading, just let me know. Because it's going to read you now. It's going to read you, but it's going to get you right. I've sent it to my friends. I've sent it to a multitude of people. They're like, oh my God, this was genius, right? Nobody is touching this. So yeah, so I'm really excited. Thank you so much for these gifts and these comments. It's a feminine. I'm about to break it down for you. It's a feminine architecture diagnostic. It focuses on your inner architecture, and I'm about to break down your inner architecture real quick. Okay, so you'll have some understanding a little bit more of the quiz as you take it. So you have 3 architecture systems inside of you as a woman, right? These are things that I have observed. These are things that I have tested. I have done a whole bunch of stuff. And I don't think I've ever even said this online, but like after I got divorced some years ago, I took a year, right, to repair my relationship spiritually, mentally, emotionally when it came down to men. And then for a year, I dated men for like 2 years and different stuff, like case study wise, experiment wise. So I paid attention to how they responded to me. I paid attention to how they respond to me. I paid attention to so many different things to where this is how I was able to come up with this diagnostic. And this is why it hits the way it does. And this is why my dating life is great after divorce. I'll be 42 on Monday. They like to tell you hit a wall. Child, I ain't hit no wall. Men treat me well. I do well in my business. I'm a multi-6-figure CEO, and men give me money with no problem. They don't have no problem. Men invest where they see value. And I am walking value. You understand? And when you are walking value, people invest in walking value. But you got to know your value. So if you don't know your value, then people can't invest in what's valuable. Okay? So yeah, y'all get my drift. So anyway. So let's get into it, okay? Thank you. So your patterns are not your personality, okay? Your patterns are your architecture, all right? And that's the thing that you have to understand. Every woman has 3 invisible systems behind her results. Your life results and what you attract is coming from these key areas, okay? Pay attention. If you get the quiz, you're going to see this as well. Number 1. It's something I like to call MBV. It is your magnetic bond vetting. This is who you attract, who you chase, who you avoid, and what feels like chemistry. That is what the first half, because the questions on the diagnostic is 12 questions. There are 4 questions in each of these 3 sections. You have 4 questions in the magnetic bond vetting section, which is letting you know who you attach to. If you got attachment issues, because you should not be attached to anything of this world. Hello, if you're a believer, you're not supposed to be attached to anything of this world, because I swear anybody could die. Y'all be acting like the worst thing could happen is a man leaving you or cheating on you with somebody else. That man could die. People are always going to leave your life. And when you understand that people are always going to leave your life, you're going to leave people's life, you'll stop being so tight about people leaving your life because you understand your value. I'm never afraid about losing a man. It's like Gucci said, baby. It's like buses. Every 15 minutes, one leaving, another one coming. It's never a lack. Do you understand what I'm telling you? And I'm telling you this at 42. Where they're telling you, oh, it's this. And baby, it be the daddies, the granddaddies, and the sons coming at 40. Okay? So don't get it confused. It boils down to your magnetic bond vetting. Okay? Which is going to help you figure out who you attach to. Thank you, my love, for these likes and these comments and these gifts. Who you are chasing, okay? Who you avoid, and what feels like chemistry, okay? So that's the first part. The second part, or the second system, invisible system underneath your results of what you're attracting, is your feminine magnetism value, something I like to call FMV, all right? So, hold on. Should we allow ourselves? I'm going to answer this question, but y'all hold the rest of y'all questions before then. Till I get done, because I'm not too far off. Should we allow ourselves to still feel hurt by losing them, but not scared of losing them? Absolutely. Let me tell you something. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. Loss hurts. You understand? But loss is a reality that is going to happen in every single reality, no matter what reality you create, because people die every day, right? So loss is always going to do something. I was just having this conversation with a young lady this morning. I'm gonna break this down for y'all so y'all can understand relationships. So y'all can really help you try to detach from people. Because y'all, society has programmed your mind to believe in forever when nothing on this earth has a forever like date on it. Everything has an expiration date, including water. So when it comes down to this forever concept, it's not real. So if you break that mold open first by starting there, let's second go to the fact that I like to look at relationships like a revolving door. I love a good revolving door. I'm childish too, right? So I like to go get on swings and all that type of stuff. So I love a good revolving door. It makes me feel like I am on a ride, so I dig it. Many of you may know that I lost my father in August, okay? So I will use the relationship between me and my father for this analogy, okay? So a relationship is two people entering into the revolving door. Me and my daddy, since I was a little girl, we entered into this revolving door, right? So we're going around and around and around and around, and somebody got to get off. Somebody got to go out the door first. My daddy went out the door first. That was the end of our time. Not only the end of our time, but the end of our time because I won't be able to see him again. But see, you got to understand when you are going through the revolving door with people, there are times that you're going to get off first. There are times that they're going to get off first. And sometimes those getting off looks like death. And some of those looks like you getting off and them still being alive, but the time is up. You understand? You need to understand that somebody gonna always got to leave the door first. It might be you or somebody else. So it shouldn't shock you, loss. Okay? Thank you, my love, for these gifts. When you are looking at it from that perspective, the time is up. The ride is over. The thing about it is when you look back and you walking through that revolving door with that person, did you slow down enough to pay attention to the time and the experience? Or were you so focused on the destination that now time is up? These are the things that you have to pay attention to as a woman. These are the things you have to pay attention to as a woman because it's extremely vital. So let's go back to, again, your second invisible system beneath your results, the results of your life, which is the FMV, okay? Your feminine magnetism value, okay? And this is going to be assessed in the diagnostic. Number one, it assesses your emotional safety. Are you even safe enough to be in a relationship? Are you too emotionally unstable? That's what it's going to assess. The second thing it's going to assess is your ability to receive, your receiving capacity. Can you even receive? See, a lot of you claim that you want to receive things from men, but you're not an energetic match to receive because you don't even allow yourself to receive compliments before you throw it off you. See, somebody could say you look beautiful and you say, oh my God, you look great too, because you really don't like people looking at you. You really don't like to be seen because you feel like you're going to be exposed. Why? Because you're really insecure. You understand? Because you're really insecure. So because of that, you say, oh, somebody says, oh, you look great today. Oh, I felt so ugly getting up. You got to knock yourself down. You got to hurry up and throw a compliment to somebody else so you can feel better about yourself. Like you don't have the capacity to receive. So what are you talking about? You want a man to give you money? What's men? You got to think logically here. See, women can be extremely delusional. And that's not really helping you. See, delusion delusion without discernment is destructive. See, I was being delusional when I said I want to build a multi six-figure business, and I don't want to hustle. I want to build it on me speaking, writing, and teaching. That's me being delusional in a world where the world is saying I have to work for other people and do this and do that. So that's me being delusional, right? That's me being delusional. But I'm not denying the fact that this is going to take work. I'm not denying the fact that I got to discern the people that I'm dealing with, that I go in business with, or that I work with, right? So being delusional without discernment is destructive, okay? Hi, lovies. And thank you. So when you're taking the diagnostic in my bio and it's testing you in the second half of the diagnostic, is going to be testing your feminine magnetism value, your ability to receive, your ability to let life be good to you. You understand? Because a lot of you are so vigilant to where you're waiting on the next shoe to drop. So you can't even enjoy the moment because you're waiting on somebody to mess it up. right? This test is going to tell you that, okay? So here's the third invisible system. We've talked about the magnetic bonding system. That's first, how people bond, how you attach, all of that. We talked about the feminine magnetism value. This is how you receive, okay? And going, if you allow yourself to be in this space, all right? So then the last system that's really important is the magnetic presence value, okay? This is your identity. This is your leadership. This is your power. This is what people feel when you enter into a room. This is your moneymaker. See, I done created a whole diagnostic to put you in position to let you know not only how your relationships with men are, the truth of it, and I'm also a part of that diagnostic teaching you the presence or the value of your presence and how people will pay you highly if you just understood that. So you really get a diagnostic around money and men. So if you're having issues in both of those areas, that's going to tell you about you, okay? So these three structures, the magnetic bonding vetting, who you attach to, who you chase, who you avoid, what feels like chemistry to you, the feminine magnetism value, your emotional safety, your capacity to receive, your ability to let life be good to you. Okay. And then the third aspect, which your magnetic presence value, which is your identity, your leadership, your power, what people feel when you enter into a room. These three structures create your feminine architecture system. You will not hear anybody else talking about this or talking like this. And if you do, send them to me, because I'm going to send my attorney over there to send him a cease and desist for playing with me, because nobody else has this. And nobody else for sure is giving it out at this level. Women are like, I cannot believe, like, I'm familiar with your work, but I cannot believe you created a diagnostic like this and you're giving it to us for free. I am, because awareness is always free. Awareness is always free. You can always learn for yourself. You can always learn about yourself. You can always grasp concepts and information. But see, not everybody is about their life to where they're going to take action. Are you really going to apply? Are you going to implement? Are you going to ascend? See, that's what separates the little girls from the grown women. Grown women do. Little girls dream. Okay? I'm talking about the feminine architecture diagnostic in my bio. You can click the link in the bio to get access to it. Click the link in the bio, scroll down. You will see feminine architecture diagnostic. Turn around, check your email, check your spam folder. You will see a pink form that should be in there. Once you look at the pink form, scroll down to the bottom, click the link and take the assessment. The pink form is telling you what it's basically doing, who you attract, all that type of stuff. Okay. So yeah, I was just thinking, how does she know and remember all this? Because I live it. I live it and I teach it. I wouldn't be in business as long as I've been in thus far if I wasn't who I said I was. Because people ain't got no problem getting online and exposing you. And I tell people all the day long, thank you, my love, for your gifts. I don't need your money. The Most High pay me. I'm on assignment. So me having a multi-six-figure business because I've been able to speak, write, and teach and break down these concepts and different things is a byproduct of my obedience of what I believe. And I believe that the Most High supplies all my needs. I believe that the Most High literally the kingdom of heaven is living within me, in me, according to Luke 17:21. I believe I have creative and witty inventions in my very being, so there's no need for me to be broke. I believe that I have a godlike nature. I believe I have godlike character. I believe I have dominion, so I have my own lane, so I don't need to jock nobody else. I don't need to mimic nobody else. I don't need to be like nobody else. I literally am me. And I get paid for being me. So you can have the same thing for being you, right? You're not being paid well for performing for other people. They don't care. So yeah, it is vital. She said, I've been following you since 2023 and your message has never wavered. All praises, girl. Thank you, boo. And it's not going to waver because that's my assignment. It's not going to waver. It's going to get refined. It's going to get sharper. It's going to get deeper. It's going to hit the solution faster because I'm that type of person who refines and makes sure everything is what it needs to be. But that's an example of me. I am consistently refining. Even if you look at me from 2023, 2022, I don't even look the same. It's a lot. Do you have anything for the masculine side? Honestly, men tend to come and buy my products and services because they just like, I know you're talking to women, but the strategies work on everybody, and they do. I don't work with men directly. The only man that I've ever worked with, once, his income tripled the year that we worked together. So kind of know what I'm doing, but yeah. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, let me go ahead and finish this so I can get y'all this. So yeah, click the link in the bio and take the diagnostic. Is going to tell you about you. Okay, it's the first thing. So those three structures that I just talked about, they are your feminine architecture system, and that has been running your entire life, not your intentions, whether you believe it or not your vision board, not your goals. Okay, so let's get into the fact that high functioning women tend to be under resourced. Because though they are high functioning, they're able to continue to keep going, yada, 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 do this and do that. But they tend to be very under resourced. And let's talk about it. So a lot of women are high functioning. You get things done, you perform, you show up, you handle things, but internally, you're extremely under resourced. Okay, extremely under resourced. So I can feel positive energy. Thank you. All praises to the Most High. And when I say under resourced, I'm speaking about emotionally, I'm speaking about energetically, I'm speaking about identity wise. High functioning women, okay, are often, how can I describe this? They're often the most least emotionally supported. And I have yet to find that to not be a lie. Women who come to work with me who are the trailblazers, they break down cycles and they do this and they do that. They are the ones who are managing everyone else's emotions and supporting everyone else, but they are the least emotionally supported and the most emotionally burdened. I see it every single time. And a lot of times these same women have the mindset, well, if I treat someone like this, they're going to treat me back like that, when in reality, that's not the way that goes. Or if I do this more, then the person is going to show up for me and do that. And that's not the way that it goes. So the reality of this situation is the question, with you being emotionally burdened, but least emotionally supported, the question isn't, can you handle it? Because a lot of you are in the mindset, if I can handle this. The question is, and I want you to think about what I'm about to say. Okay? The question is, what is the cost of you handling everything alone? Just sit with that for 1 second. While you handling everybody else's stuff, nobody can do it like you. They got to call you the person, you this and you that. What is the cost of you handling everything alone? I don't care. Let me tell y'all be getting caught up when men be saying, because women have started doing this thing over the last couple of years where they're like, oh, if a man, his mom, she was hardworking and she was this and she was that, he's going to expect me. My energy is drained, my sanity. Exactly. And the cost too heavy. Ain't enough money to bring that back. So you have a man that's like, oh, he, my mom was this, my mom was that, my mom was this. See, y'all, a lot of women get offended by like, oh my God, he gonna be expecting me to do this and be a slave and be like his mom and do this and do that. See, because you don't understand the science of yourself, you don't understand the science of the masculine, so you don't even know how to redirect that. Let me tell you how I handle that, and this is free game. I'm not gonna give you no more game when it comes down to the men, but I'm just gonna help y'all out because y'all keep y'all self in the chokehold about this scenario right here. So if a man were to approach me and say things like, my mom did this, well, my mom did that, and I don't understand why a woman can't do that because of my mom did this and that was fine and she raised this and she did that. I always say, your mother sounds like a very, very strong woman. And they're like, yeah, she is. And I said, have you ever considered asking your mom if she would have been offered help and support? Have you ever considered asking her, would she have taken it? Would she have rathered any support or anything? Or did she prefer handling everything on her own? That question every single time eats chef's kiss. Do you hear me? Because it makes them sit back. It makes them all say them almost the same thing. I never asked her. Or, I never thought about it like that. Or, da-da-da-da. I just got the whole idea off me, that you think I'm finna come here and be your mama. Because I'm not. And I didn't even have to go off on you about it. I just had to get you to think. See, this is what I be talking about when women don't really know how to interact with the masculine. Make them think, honey. You don't make them think with contention and with trying to talk at them and trying to do this. You ask questions. Okay? You make them think. See, I like to do this type of thing when somebody says something ignorant to me as well. If somebody's having a conversation with me, and let's just say they decide that they want to insult me, which is rare that ever would occur, but let's just say they want to insult me. If you say you're this and you're that, I'm going to say, well, what do you mean by that? See, I like to make people explain their craziness, their stupidity, their ignorance once you throw it at me. You understand? And it's not condescending. I'm just asking you to make you think, because it was clear that you weren't thinking before you spoke to me. You understand? See, I ain't arguing with nobody. The power stays in my hand because I understand power dynamics. But you think arguing is power. Arguing isn't power. It's a false form of witchcraft, actually. Arguing by definition means to persuade or prove. Why do you want to persuade someone when they have free will just like you? Why do you want to prove something to someone and they have the free will to be wrong, just like you got the free will to be right? So in order for you to change their mind, and you keep trying to talk to them and do this and do that, you're trying to alter their mindset. And for you to try to alter or manipulate mental energy without the permission of someone else's witchcraft, your creator doesn't even change your mind. Your creator doesn't even try to change your mind. Greetings. Your creator doesn't make you walk like this and say, serve me forever. But you trying to argue with somebody? Y'all gotta see, this why y'all be having these frictions with them. Because y'all don't know how to use your own energy to, like, you don't even have to argue. Baby, I can't remember the last time I argued. You understand? And I have my way. Okay? I have my way. I run a strict program over here. And it works, okay? So, but that's because I protect myself and I know what it costs for me to handle everything alone, and I'm not interested in doing that. So I seek out support. And if you can't be a support to me, then there's no point of you being here, because I'm not going to be a support to you. It's reciprocity over here. That's how it works. That's the rules of this club. First rule of Fight Club, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. The next piece of this, which is the plateau that a lot of women tend to experience, okay? Women, and I'm talking about plateauing across the board. If you're plateauing in business, if you're plateauing in your weight, right? Because I told you I used to be 100 pounds heavier. This is not my first business. This is my second business. This is the one that I have built to multi-six figures. And my first business, I was exhausted. I hit a plateau. When I kept trying to do yo-yo dieting and stuff, I kept hitting plateaus, and I'm going to break down a plateau so you can understand what that actually is and what that looks like. So when you're experiencing a plateau, which is like a spot where you just seem like you cannot be moving, you're just kind of steady sitting right here. Hi, Lovey. You don't plateau because your life isn't expanding, okay? You plateau because your emotional architecture isn't expanding. You hear people say all the time, your vibrational state is connected to the way you feel. You hear, you're able to manifest things because of the way you feel. You've been hearing this. This is not new information. Dick Gregory been talking about this for a long time. You got folks like Dick Gregory, Reverend Ike, Neville Garter. You have a bunch of people who have been talking about how your emotional state impacts your reality and you being able to receive. And as a person who carries a certificate in energetic psychology, I understand how emotions impact your organs, which is why I can say confidently, your hate for your baby daddy is going to kill your liver. Is he worth going blind for or dying for? Because the reality of the situation is this thing called blind rage comes from the fact that your liver supplies nourishing blood to your eyes. This is why when people have diabetes and the eyes start acting up, your liver is screaming. Liver on the last leg. Liver has over 300 functions in the body, you understand? So when you are hating someone, anger goes straight to your liver, which is why you cramp so bad during your cycle. You cramp so bad during your cycle because you have cold energy in the body. You better start learning traditional Chinese medicine. That's how I got the energetic psychology practitioner certificate, because I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. And like I said, I used to be 100 pounds heavier. I used to have polycystic ovarian syndrome. Don't they tell you that you're supposed to have that forever? Ooh-wee. Define the odds outside of their medication in their program. Okay? So again, you don't plateau because your life isn't expanding. You don't plateau because your emotional architecture is not expanding. Okay? You try to level up through strategy while your identity is coded for survival. Before I became a six-figure entrepreneur, okay? So energetic psychology practitioner. Before I got into, or I hit my first 6 figures, and I think I've talked about this before, I mentally quantum jumped, right? And put myself in the mindset as if I already had the money. So I would do things like, I got $100,000 in the bank. That's exactly what I say. I got $100,000 in the bank. I don't know how to act. I don't know how to act. So I would literally go out and act like I had $100,000 in the bank. Okay. So I did that. I operated my schedule as if I already had it. I was already there. It was already done. It was this, it was that. And guess what happened? It happened very quickly because I had the habits of a person who already was there. I didn't wait until the money popped up for me to be that person. I had to jump into the identity of that. So I made sure I trained my mind. I made sure I paid attention to what I was putting in my mind, what I was watching, what I was listening to, who I was around, all of those things. And everything shifted extremely fast for me, okay, in that space, because I had already gotten rooted in the identity of that person. So again, you can't, this is why a lot of you can be in business, can be in, or can get strategy from people, or have all these different things and try to implement it, and none of these things work. It's because your identity is still set up for survival. So truthfully, the old you can't hold $1 million, because the old you is a people pleaser. A old you be done tricked that money off. The old you be done gave all the money away for feeling sorry for people, all these things, the old identity. But the new you has got to be like, no. The new you got boundaries. But see, that's why you can't hold a bunch of money. You don't have the boundaries. You're going to give all that money away. Then when it's time for you to pay your taxes on the money in business, you can't even do it because you didn't trick the money off. You taking care of everybody because you didn't kill the old you. You didn't take out the old you, the people pleaser, the one who always there, the sacrificer, all this and all of that. Like, no. Okay? So let's get into the next aspect. You try to date differently. Okay, I'm going to start, he ain't really my type. Y'all know you be doing it. He ain't really my type. But he ain't really my type, but I'm going to just go ahead and try something different. You date differently while your body only trusts the attachment styles from your past. So because old boy ain't giving you the passion that you feel like you need to be getting. And passion is nothing but intensity, but you claim you want a serious relationship. You want a steady relationship. A healthy relationship is like a fireplace. You can't desire a fireplace or claim you desire a fireplace when you only entertain fireworks. And that's what a lot of you were doing. A lot of you were entertaining fireworks, the fireworks show. This is why you have these peaks of high intensity and then these lows of absolutely nothing. Because you don't understand the steady, okay? Yes, healthy, notingless. I took it in wow. You took the quiz? You took the diagnostic, girl. Tell the people how accurate it was. Look, she said, wow. Tell the people how accurate it was for you. Because I'm telling you, their diagnostic is tea, honey. And I'm not just saying that because I created it. I study human behavior for a living. I had to study human behavior to change in my own life, okay? So understand, I ain't new to it. She said, yes, oh my God, it read me for filth. Yeah, it's going to read you down. It's going to make you aware. It's going to read you down, okay? It's going to hurt, and then it's going to bless you, okay? It's going to get you right if you really want your life to change in that area. So, again, you can't date differently. This is the plateau, okay? You can't date differently if your body only trusts attachment styles from your past. She said, and it did. I was like, huh? How did it know this? Girl, baby, when I tell you I took my time programming that quiz, I took my time. And I'm going to tell you why I took my time. Girl, because I'm tired of women asking me about men. Even my friends, I love them. They know. But I be tired of people asking me about men. They're like, how do you get men to be doing and be like this with you? And they just be this with you. Girl, because I know me and I don't be playing. I know I'm a lover girl, but I'm strict. So you ain't finna get access to the lover girl, baby, until I see that fullness of that character. Good evening and good night, okay? We got to see if it's worthy for her to even come outside. I'm a strict parent, okay? Good evening and good night. So, yeah, and I'm talking about parenting myself. You can click the link in the bio. Hi, loving. You click the link in the bio, scroll down to Feminine Architect architecture diagnostic. It is going to reveal you take a 12 question quiz. Is going to reveal the diagnostic for you about who you attract and all that great stuff. Why, yada, 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 read your strengths, your vulnerabilities, all that great stuff. And the things that you need to work on that are causing you to be in a state of self-destruction. There's a product that can help you at the bottom. Yes, I'm gonna have to save up to get into the program because I need the 8-week intensive program. No problem. The next time, so I'm running, my last cohort of my 8-week intensive starts actually on December 10th. My next one is in May. So you got time, Lord willing. You got time. She said, I just finished the architecture. Girl, read your results, girl. Let us know what you think. So the plateau. You try to earn more while your nervous system panics at unfamiliar success. Okay? Your conscious mind continuously evolves, but your physiology stays behind, okay? This is what's happening with the plateau in your life. Now, let's talk a little bit about the identity lag, which is causing a major issue in how you relate in this space, okay? Here's what nobody is telling high-functioning women, because they don't like to tell women the truth, because they don't want you to really wake up to the fullness of yourself, because then you'll start choosing better. You'll realize you have always had more options. You always had more different things, but you just didn't tap into that. So here's what they don't tell you. Number one, your achievements have advanced you, but your identity didn't advance. So this is why I have women who are CEOs at corporations making a whole bunch of money, millions, and then, turning around making companies billions, but they still shrink when they walk into rooms because your identity has not grown into, you've achieved things, but you just are not in that space, okay? Another thing that happens, the identity lag. Your life grew, but your emotional architecture stayed the same. So though you have a bunch of money, though you have all these things happening, you still catty, you still passive aggressive, and Lord knows, let me tell you something. I can't stand nothing worse in a woman than a passive aggressive woman, a woman that is not direct about what she wants. It is the weakest trait to me. I'm not even going to hold you. If you are grown enough to have a conversation with somebody else about somebody else, you are grown enough to have a conversation with the individual directly. It's one thing to call somebody to vent, to figure out how to handle a scenario. It's a different thing to call somebody and talk about them like a dog. You are weak as water. And passive aggressiveness is not a feminine trait, whether you want to believe that or not. Whether you want to believe that or not, that is not a feminine trait. That's a weak trait, actually. Hold on, I'm trying to fix this thing. That's a weak trait. Very weak. How important is your nervous system when it comes down to advancing in life? Extremely. Because that your capacity to receive is extremely important. Thank you, my love, for these likes and these gifts. If you are trying to advance in life and be successful in some form or fashion, you have to open up your capacity to receive. You have to be comfortable receiving. And I'm talking about it could be coming from anywhere. You have to be comfortable receiving. If you're not comfortable randomly receiving, then, you're going to have a bit of an issue successfully. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these comments and these likes. How on earth did you get this smart? You are amazing. I appreciate you. Trust me, it has nothing to do with being smart. It is definitely obedience to the Most High. A lot of hard mistakes. Like I said, I'll be 42 on Monday, so I've made the hard mistakes so you don't have to, okay? I also understand that a lot of women are arrested development. They're arrestedly developed or are in arrested development because I coached teen girls before I got into this work. I coached teen girls into women. And this looked like I did it for about 10 years. Girls ranging from the age of 11 all the way to 18, to the point to where these girls still call me mama, still see me, I still celebrate them, all that great stuff, right? There is not a huge difference between a lot of the women of today and the teenagers that I coached for those 10 years, because a lot of women are locked into that teenage state. So not only am I able to see the woman in them, but I'm able to see the inner child who needs to be reparented. I'm able to see the inner teen who's being rebellious, and I'm able to support the woman in having a framework in reparenting both of those, because you know exactly what it is that you did not get growing up. But in order for you to do that, you must first have to reprogram your mind and rewire your nervous system, or you can't parent a damn dog. Okay? And I'm being for real. Just because you feed something, and just because you house something, and just because you clothe something does not mean that you parent it. Let's get into it. And I also will add this. While I was coaching those teen girls, I also worked, before I got into this work, I worked for the Department of Children's Services, where I investigated child unaliving, sexual essay against children, all this stuff. So I got to see family dynamics on a whole nother level. When I tell you I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. Okay? I'm not new to it, I'm true to it. So the experiences that I've had, the things that I've had to go through, I've had 3 ego deaths and a spiritual awakening. Child, I got enough wisdom to pass on, and I'm leaving here empty. That's my agreement with the Most High, for me to leave empty. When I leave this earth, understand I've given everything I'm supposed to. Okay? That's my agreement with the one that created me. So, again, we're talking about the identity lack. You may have built a bigger life for yourself, but you're wired, or how can I say this, with wiring that is designed for a smaller one. Thank you, my love. These things that I'm talking about create identity lag. And identity lag is the gap in between the woman you are on paper. See how people say, she look good on paper, but she crazy. The identity lag is literally the gap between the woman you are on paper and the woman your nervous system still believes that you are. It's the gap in between the woman who leads and the woman who collapses privately. It's the gap between the woman who executes and the woman who second guesses everything. It's the gap in between the woman who sees and the woman who actually feels, okay, like this on the inside. Identity lag is why you stuck. Identity lag is why you're tired. Identity lag is why nothing feels aligned. And if you don't believe me, let me give you a better example. Because you believe that you're supposed to be the end-all, be-all for your family, you've created an identity of being the savior and the one for your family. That's why you show up for them. You ain't burn out because you're doing that work. You burn out because you believe that's who you are and who you have to be to deal with them people. And that's not the truth. What you are required to be is yourself. Because that's the only thing, yourself is the only one that can manifest or manage the manifestations that you claim that you want. You being fake is why you're not getting what you want. Period. Okay? Thank you, my love, for these gifts. You have an identity lag. You believe you're supposed to be this. And a lot of it is training. You the one. You the one in the family. You this, you that. They were putting all that pressure on you. You became the doctor. You became the lawyer. You became the attorney. You became the therapist. You became this. You became that. And now you're losing your mind. You've been programmed. You've been bamboozled to take care of everybody but yourself, all while hitting you in the head with a Bible that tells you that you are to take care of your temple. The Bible tells you to take care of yourself first. The scripture tells you to love your neighbor as you love yourself. But yet you let society trick you into slaving yourself into sickness, trying to help other people. No, ma'am. And you wonder why you keep attracting men who need help? Girl, stop being a nurse. Stop being a solution. Really. Identity lag is why you stuck. Identity lag is why you tired. Identity lag is why nothing feels aligned. I promise the trickery of it all. Get into it. You're living results of a powerful woman with the emotional identity of a woman that you used to be. Insanity. How long you think she gonna manage that? How long you think she gonna be able to sustain that? She won't. If you're hearing this and you're thinking, this is literally me, that's why, for the ones who are ready, the Muse Activator exists. Because it's identity level recalibration. And my clients who've been in that program can tell you that. Regulation is not enough. And I know a lot of people are focusing on, emotional regulation, I need to regulate emotionally. That's not enough, baby. You already learned how to calm yourself. You've learned how to calm yourself. You learn breath work. You learn grounding, affirmations, journaling, somatic tools. Regulation is beautiful. I'm not taking it from you. Please don't get it confused. Okay? But regulation is what I like to call maintenance, not metamorphosis, baby. Not transformation. Regulation stabilizes you. Rewiring your nervous system liberates you. It makes you free because you're free in speaking what you want. And if the man can't meet the need, he's cool, but he ain't it. So we're moving right along. We're not trying to make him into something. We're not telling him, you're not good enough. Why you just don't do this? Why you just don't do that? He don't doing it. What you finna do? What you finna do? You gonna complain or you gonna change lanes? Because you got to make it make sense. Rewiring sets you free. Okay? Regulation brings you back to your baseline. Okay, cool. Brings you back to your baseline. Rewiring creates a new baseline. Regulation manages your patterns. Rewiring dissolves your patterns. Okay? So these are the things that we have to really start paying attention and focusing on. The moment everything tends to shift and change is the moment when your identity shifts. Because when your identity shifts, everything is going to shift. Your relationships change, your boundaries change, your money changes, your presence changes. People feel you differently. No lie. And all this is facts. Okay? Opportunities respond differently. You attract differently. Transformation isn't about doing more. And a lot of people think that you have to do all this stuff. It's about becoming the woman whose system naturally produces the results that you want. Okay? I've watched women regulate before, but women coming into the Muse Activator is where women have been able to recalibrate. I have one client, Sarah. She didn't need more calm. She needed identity integration. I had a client, Shantae. She didn't need more motivation. She needed internal authority. And each one basically was saying the same thing. Like, my life started responding to me when, my identity shifted, when I made some different decisions. So here's the truth that we really need to pay attention to. Thank you, my love, for these gifts and these likes and these comments. Here's what we have to pay attention to. If you want new outcomes before 2026, because please don't wait till January. I really hope people are still not doing that, especially what's going on in society. I hope that you are doing the work and being locked in right now. If you smart, you are. If you waiting to January, baby, you're cooked. I don't mean no harm when I say that. I'm telling you the truth. If you want new outcomes, you must install a new architecture. You cannot keep operating from the same emotional patterns. You cannot keep, the same nervous system coding. You cannot keep the same identity wiring and expect your life to shift. It's not going to happen. If you felt something in today's teaching, then you're ready. Okay? Be ready. So here are the next 3 steps depending on where you are. Number 1. Take the feminine architecture diagnostic, okay? Start there so you can get clear on your patterns if you don't know your patterns. Number 2, if you know your patterns are, regulation, or let me say this, if you know your patterns, okay, or if you're here because your regulation is unstable or inconsistent, click the link in the bio and go ahead and get emotional foundations. If you know you have attachment issues, if you know you lack discernment in dating, go ahead and click the link in the bio and get Love in the Nervous System now. Love in the Nervous System, if you have anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, all that attachment, I don't want to call it crap because I don't want y'all to get mad, but y'all will see what I'm saying if you have Love in the Nervous System, because it teaches you your issue is the attachment to the idea of something. You ain't even got attachment issues, are you? Attached to an idea, which is a spiritual violation. You're not supposed to be attached to anything of this world because everything dies. Do you understand? So if you put your everything into something that is going to die, guess what happens when it dies? A part of you dies, or you die, or you get stuck. Okay? So if attachment is your issue, go ahead and get Love in the Nervous System. It's $222. You can get a recliner, affirming, afterpay. If you need to get emotional foundations, it's $297. You get that recliner, affirming, afterpay. If you're ready for the Muse Activator, that means that you're ready for identity recalibration, emotional power, and internal leadership, because your nervous system has been choosing your life up until now. This is where you choose when you become aware. So click the link in the bio to get access to any of these products or services. Click the link in the bio to take the diagnostic. But let me tell you like this. If you take that diagnostic and you sit on it and you don't do nothing about what you see about yourself, girl, don't say nothing else to me about what a man did to you, because you're doing everything to yourself because you know better. You know better. And men are not that so spiritually in tune and smart and wise that they can fool you so much. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Nobody can play without your permission, participation, or the fact that you simply are not paying attention. Tiara, the Speak Right Teach course is actually included in something else. I put it in Monetize Like a Muse. Okay? Monetize Like a Muse is something that I don't offer anymore, but because you asked about Speak Right Teach, that is in Monetize Like a Muse, I can offer it to you on a link. But I can tell you that you would have to get it today, and the price point on it is $5.97, because I can only open it up to where it'll be available for the 24-hour period, because I don't like to keep it in there. So if you want that, I can send you the link. But like I said, it's going to expire today. If you're not going to get it, you can get it with Klarna Firm and Afterpay. The value of it is about $2,500. So really the price point, truly what it was when I had it out there, was $1,500. So the fact that it's $5.97, that was the last thing that I did before I closed it out, that's what you would still get access to. So if you want that, DM me and I will send you specifically the link for that, and the link is going to expire in 24 hours. Okay. What questions do you guys have for me? Click the link in the bio to make sure that you get access to the diagnostic. Once you get the diagnostic, it'll tell you what course or product or service that you need to get based on your results. And so you have an opportunity to shift your life. What do you mean, who is the Most High to me? Clarify your question for me, so then I get to decide how that's going to be answered. What exactly are you asking? Are you asking about my beliefs? What are you asking directly? Okay. What other questions do you guys have for me that are about the topic? Now, I tend not to talk too heavy on what's personal to me, but if you're new here, I don't mind, but I need to understand what you're really asking me. Hi there, new. Thank you for sharing. I wasn't here long, but I was able to come to clarity on something. Well, all praises. All praises to the Most High. I'm glad that you were able to get that. The topic of today was talking about how your nervous system is not choosing success. It's not choosing love. It's not choosing stability for you. It's choosing what's familiar, which is why women repeat the cycles that they repeat. And if women want to shift those cycles, then you need to become aware, and you can do that by taking first the Feminine Architecture Diagnostic. The second thing that you can do is look and see what is being offered to you at the bottom, and for you to get that product if you want to fix your issue. If you have attachment issues, love and the nervous system is going to be number one for you. It's going to help you with your attachment issues around money and men. You're going to free yourself up and increase your capacity to receive after you take that course. It was so powerful. At first, I had it in a bundle. People talked so much about it and was getting such massive results with the masculine and with money. I decided to make it its own thing. So it's $222. The value of it is really way more than that. You can ask anyone who's taking it, and you can click the link in the bio to get access to it. Foundations is going to help you set your baseline. If you cannot control your emotions, if you cannot control yourself when things happen, and I'm talking about basic things in life, because you're so reactive and you're not responsive, and you struggle with regulation, you struggle with emotional intelligence, you struggle to just master your emotions in general, then you want to get Emotional Foundations. You can get that for $297. You can get it with Klarna, Firm, and Afterpay. And that course right there, Foundations, is a audio-based course. Let me tell you, and that's my first one. You ain't gonna see nobody else out here creating audio-based course. Why is Emotional Foundations an audio-based course? Because it's audio that's gonna retrain your nervous system. I'm gonna penetrate in a way that's going to hit exactly what needs to hit. So if you listen to the sound of my voice and the things that I'm teaching you, if you complete the workbooks and the worksheets out of each one, by the time you get done, emotional stability will be your baseline. Nobody is going to shake you or stir you, baby. I'm talking about somebody could be in your face trying to play with you, and you know how to keep your power. You know how to immediately put yourself back to your baseline as soon as somebody piss you off without even transferring your power. You know how to transmute it. That's the type of game you're going to get. And that, being able to hold power, being able to hold position, being able to be and understand power dynamics is what is going to position you for more. So if you have been wanting more in your life, you need to reset your emotional baseline. And Emotional Foundations is going to do that for you, because it's going to rewire your nervous system using my voice and using the words that you write down. Why? Because there's power in the life and death in the tongue. And without a vision, the people will perish. This is why you have to write the vision down and make it plain. This is why I am coming at your audio. I am coming at you with words. I am coming at you so you are writing things down. I am teaching you how to solidify. And I'm very good at what I do. So, no problem. Any other questions or comments? Okay. But I'm telling y'all, don't get this little diagnostic and then they'll go out here and still being dumb with men. I'm serious. And then come back and talk to me about it, because I don't want to hear it. Because they got a product at the end that tell you how to fix that. So if you really want to be out of that and stop playing, you can go ahead and get it like that. Okay. I don't see any additional questions or anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go. I hope that y'all have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. Loving the Nervous System is my favorite course. I say that all the time. Yes, baby, she loves some loving the nervous system. And Eli has also been in the Muse Activator, so she's done both. She's done Loving the Nervous System, and she's done the Muse Activator. And she took the Feminine Architecture Diagnostic, and I could see the reflection of how much work that she has done by working with me over the past year, that her score, she is basically a secure woman in how she moves in so many different ways and so many different things. So a lot of that is done from the work that she's done. So when she quizzed, her results was like banging. So again, it's a really good thing. I also say, if you get like Loving the Nervous System and you took the quiz the first time, take it. And when you get done with Loving the Nervous System, go ahead and take it again. Okay? Go out and practice and do the thing you need to do, and then come back and take it again and see how your score shifts and how all these things are true, and you start attracting different da-da-da. So yeah, is there a community to share from the courses? I don't think I understand the question, Lovey. Are you saying, do I have like a community that of people who purchased the course and you guys come together? Is that what you're asking? I don't think I'm sure exactly on what you're asking. Can you clarify for me? Because I want to make sure I'm answering correctly and truthfully. Because if it's a community that comes with the course, no, I don't have that. I did do that the first month. For the participants of your course, is their community? No. I've been saying, I'm gonna tell you, I've been saying for you, I used to have a Facebook group, but it's so much to try to manage. It's a lot. The Muse Activator is not self-paced. You actually have me weekly. You have me every single week, which is at your benefit, which is really good, because not only do we have our weekly sessions, but if we need to have one-on-ones, if it's some things we need to evaluate, some things we need to look at, some things you need support with and all of that great stuff, then we can support you in that. So the Muse Activator is like when you get direct from me. So if you know you need direct accountability, the Muse Activator is going to be the best. To start the Muse Activator, if you wanted to start on the 10th, it's a $500 deposit to hold your spot. And then you pay the other 2 payments while you're in the program. But yeah, it's $500 to hold your spot. This is the last cohort that's happening in December and January. I will not be having another cohort of the Muse Activator until May of next year, in June, May and June. Lord willing, and then the next one after that is going to be like how it is now, December to January. I'm only running the Muse Activator twice a year. My other program is my flagship program, which is my 5-figure 6-month program for women called the Self-Assured Woman. And that's the program that is the main focus of what I'll be operating in 2026. The Muse Activator is one of my favorites, my baby, but it's only going to be twice a year. So if you want in, this is the last time to get in on it now before the year's out. If not, we have to wait until May of next year. Okay? All right. All right. Well, thank y'all so much. I hope that y'all have an amazing, amazing day. Oh, my lash is sticky. I hope that y'all have an amazing, amazing day. Happy Feminine Friday again. And click the link in the bio to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you are in a space where you love Substack and you love to read, right? You can become a paid member on my Substack where I drop fire strategy, like almost every week I'm writing letters. Or you can become a free member and you just get awareness. But again, you're responsible for what you know. So if you want to take action, you pay $22 a month or $222 a year. Yeah, to get access to my Substack. So, all right, y'all, let me go ahead and go. Y'all have an amazing, amazing day. Peace, y'all.